Welcome to today's report. Remember tuberculosis or TB? The disease you thought was history, but it's not. In this episode, we review the upsurgence or recent rise in a deadly disease, not just in other countries, but perhaps in your country. Learn the 3 things you can do to help reduce your risk of getting it. TB, the bacterium that's been lurking around for ages. Like that ageless rock star who's seen all of the eras but refuses to retire. From pharaohs' tombs to the glossy pages of Hollywood tabloids, TB has truly had its fair share of the limelight and a curious and quirky presence throughout history. First on its VIP list, the ancient Egyptians. Indeed, evidence of spinal TB was found in mummies dating back to 2400 BCE. Some researchers believe that Akhenaten, the ancient Egyptian pharaoh known for his religious reforms, might have had TB. Makes you wonder if the pyramids were the original sanatoriums. Or maybe TB was just so enchanted by the Nile it couldn't help but make an extended stay. Fast forward to the Middle Ages. If TB were to have had a Facebook profile, its relationship status with Europe at that time would be, it's complicated. Europe, with its cramped living conditions and increased urbanization, was the perfect playground for TB. They called it the White Plague, not to be mistaken with its cousin, the Black Death. Instead of unfriending TB, many romanticized it. The disease was often linked with a sort of poetic melancholy, an ethereal beauty. It was the era of tragic heroines with pale skin, haunted eyes, and that persistent cough, signaling the uninvited guest's presence. Then let's swivel our time machine's dial to the 19th and early 20th centuries. Remember those tabloids we talked about? Here's where they come into play. The glittering world of Hollywood wasn't immune to TB's allure. Stars like Vivien Leigh, the radiant Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind, had her bouts with TB. Even the fiercely intellectual George Orwell, who gave us gripping tales like 1984, wasn't left out of TB's visiting list. Now, while Tombstone was just a movie, Old Doc Holliday was my favorite character, and unfortunately, TB got the last draw. It wasn't all about tragic tales and stolen moments. TB's historic journey also saw the rise of sanatorium cultures. Think of these as the original wellness retreats. Located in scenic locales, they were places where patients could, in theory, soak up some sun, breathe fresh mountain or sea air, and bid adieu to TB. Some of the world's most iconic sanatoriums, like the Pimeal Sanatorium in Finland, weren't just hospitals but architectural marvels. If TB was a seasoned traveler, these sanatoriums were its favorite boutique hotels. Wrapping up our quick jaunt down memory lane, it's incredible how a bacterium managed to make its way through so many significant moments and figures in history. TB might have been the uninvited guest, but it sure knew how to leave a lasting impression. But what about today? Is it still out there? Oh, yes. In 2021, 8 countries had 68% of the global cases. India topped that list, followed by Indonesia, the Philippines, China, and Africa. But what about the United States? In this 2021 map from the CDC, cities and more populated areas had higher case rates, for a total of 7,882 cases. But wait, in 2022, 8,300 cases. You may say that is not really that many, and I do not live in the city, but the real problem in the U.S. and the world is latent TB, or TB that is asleep down in your lungs. According to the CDC, in the United States, that number could be up to 13 million people, close to 1 in every 26. So you may be asking how you get it. It is respiratory. So upon exhalation and inhalation, TB, like any seasoned traveler, quickly finds its cozy little spot in our lungs. There, it decides whether to throw a rambunctious party or to nap quietly in a corner, waiting for its moment to shine. If our immune system is like the diligent airport security, it sometimes manages to quarantine this tiny intruder, preventing it from causing active disease. But that latent TB can be crafty, and on occasion sneaks past the defenses to take center stage and give you active disease. You ask, am I at risk? These 5 risk factors have shown to align with disease burden: diabetes, smoking, alcohol use disorders, HIV infection, and undernourishment. Now, what are those symptoms? Well, detectives, today we're delving deep into the realm of clues. Not the kind from a suspense-filled mystery, but the subtle hints dropped by one of history's most persistent troublemakers, tuberculosis. With a magnifying glass in hand and a detective spirit in our hearts, let's uncover these telltale signs. First on our list is the persistent cough. If you find yourself caught in a coughing spree that's been hanging around for more than 3 weeks, TB might be sending you its regards. It's like getting a junk letter in the mail, but it's time to pay attention. Next, think about those nights when you're sweating up a storm, or days when you feel like you've got a furnace burning inside, causing fevers that just won't break. TB might be the cheeky culprit fiddling with your internal thermostat. It's all very dramatic. Think of it as TB's attempt at turning off your air conditioner on a 100-degree day. Now, shedding a few pounds might be on many wish lists, but if you're losing weight without even trying and can't explain why, TB might be playing mischievous games behind the scenes. Last but not least, if every breath you take feels like an Olympic effort, or if your chest sings with pain, it's another sign that TB could be the unwanted guest making itself at home in your lungs. As we piece these clues together, the picture becomes clear. TB, with its sneaky ways, leaves behind a trail of symptoms that cannot be ignored. If any of these signs sound all too familiar, don't play the guessing game. Instead, turn to a trusted doctor. With knowledge and action, we can solve the TB mystery and ensure it remains a story of the past. Can it be treated? Now, while TB is a master of disguise, hiding behind its myriad of symptoms, the good news is we've got its kryptonite. Enter the world of TB treatment, a tailored regimen of potent medications. These aren't just any pills. Think of them as our trusty sidekicks in this health adventure, ready to combat TB head on. For a typical TB case, this battle might last around 6 to 9 months. The key? Consistency. It's like binge watching your favorite show. You don't quit halfway through. With timely diagnosis and unwavering commitment to the full treatment, we can send TB packing, ensuring it doesn't overstay its welcome in our lives. But in the meantime, how can we avoid it? In the grand tapestry of health wisdom, there's an age-old saying that's as golden today as it ever was. Prevention is better than cure. Vaccination is the frontline warrior in some countries. The BCG vaccine, though not a perfect shield, offers valuable protection, especially against severe forms of TB in children. Then there's the magic of good hygiene. Covering our mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing might seem like a simple gesture, yet it's a powerful move in the game of TB chess. Routine testing, such as the tuberculin skin test, can uncover latent TB. With these measures combined with regular health checkups, we're not just playing defense, but actively thwarting TB's advances. But as with any legendary tale, myths and legends sprout around our protagonist, in this case TB. Let's take a moment to bust some of these myths wide open, like a detective unraveling a mystery. First off, the common whisper in the alleys, TB? Oh, that's just a disease of the past. Well, contrary to this belief, TB isn't a relic of bygone eras. It's very much a contemporary concern lurking in the corners of today's world. In the U.S., latent TB may be in as many as 1 in 26 people. And while we're on the topic of whispers, let's address another. TB only affects the lungs. Well, plot twist, while the lungs are TB's favorite hangout spot, it can venture out, affecting other parts of the body, like the spine and brain, causing meningitis, or the kidneys, mimicking a common urinary tract infection. It's quite the adventurous bug. Another myth, if you've got TB, you'll know right away. The reality, TB can be quite the drama queen, sometimes choosing to remain silent with no symptoms, or latent TB, while other times putting on a full-blown show, or active TB. It's this unpredictable nature that makes regular checkups and awareness crucial. Lastly, there's a popular belief that TB is a death sentence. Here's the good news. With timely diagnosis and the right treatment, TB is curable. In the face of TB, knowledge truly is our superpower. Wrapping up our enlightening journey with prevention and myth-busting, it's clear that while TB has its tales and legends, armed with the right information, we can write our own narrative. By championing prevention and separating fact from fiction, we're not just passive listeners, but active storytellers, shaping a TB-free future. If you are concerned you may have TB, please visit your local doctor or health department. And as always, eat an apple today and keep the doctor away.